I would say in terms of the implementation or the progress of the government's digital transformation agenda, it started way before now. I think you talk about during the first term of His Excellency, the President, he established the Directorate of Science, Tech and Innovation and also appointed a Chief Innovation Officer. Both of these initiatives were first of their kind. We never had any of those before, and that really just showed the government's prioritization of this as a key enabler to deliver on its national development plan. So, and during that period, I think we've seen significant wins. When you talk about digital transformation, you talk about the work key MDAs have been able to accomplish. You talk about the National Revenue Authority, how they've been able to really transform how citizens are able to access and pay for their taxes. You talk about Ministry of Finance. So many of their systems have been transformed to an online format. You talk about the Human Resource Management Office. You talk about NCRA, National Civil Registration Authority, how people are able to apply now through an online format and get their digital identity. And we talk about education, significant wins have been made within that in terms of the education system and introducing digital systems. And one of the ones which we're really proud of was the USSD examination results checker, really being able to solve that problem of how students were able to access their examination results and just the challenge that faced, and also how expensive in terms of the financial burden that was placed on parents and guardians. And I think with what that platform has been able to do within the past couple of years that's been live, I think we've calculated that it saved parents and guardians around $2 million in terms of fees to purchase scratch cards. So we're really, I think through that process, there's been some significant gains being made in terms of digital transformation, which is why we believe, and His Excellency, in his wisdom, decided to scale up that agenda to create and establish a Ministry of Communication, Tech and Innovation. And the work is still ongoing. I think even quite recently, we see what the Immigration Office has been able to do to really reform how citizens were able to apply for their passports. And also recently, we see what the Ministry of Lands is doing in terms of introducing a land management system in terms of how citizens are able to apply. So within that, there's been absolute significant highlights, and this really goes towards why digital transformation is important, because as a government, we consider some of these services as basic services that every citizen in Sierra Leone has a right to access, and regardless of where they are, and also regardless of language barriers. So we understand the challenges that are created when citizens who live within the provincial areas have to travel all the way to Freetown to access some of these basic services. So that is the aim for us. If we can really move most of these services to an online format, it would allow citizens and really reduce the burden on them, financial and just inconvenience actually, in order in terms of accessing some of these services. And whilst significant progress obviously has been made in terms of the actual solutions, but actual progress has also been made in terms of the communication sector, because you can't have digital solutions and platforms without the critical enabler, which is a mobile and internet service being provided alongside that. So within the past couple of 5 years, we've seen the fiber backbone layout. We now have fiber backbone in 14 out of 16 districts in Sierra Leone. We've seen significant improvements in terms of rural connectivity, in terms of increasing our mobile penetration rates, because again, you cannot introduce digital platforms without one of all the critical enablers is devices. And we know most people, whilst there's laptops are great, but most people access and utilize their mobile phones to access some of these devices. So more effort is also being made in terms of being able to ensure that the devices as well as the mobile and internet services, we get those in more hands of citizens and we can increase that.